Y'all need to put the popcorn down, lock the children in the room, lock the pets in another room, and tell the group chat to strap in, because what Remy Ma just dropped hours before Claressa Shields steps onto that scale is not a diss track. It is a detonation, and the shrapnel from this particular blast is going to be flying for a very long time across every corner of the culture. Child, listen to me when I tell you this. Remy Ma did not come to play today. She came to settle a score that has been quietly bubbling for months, and she picked the most savage timeline imaginable to do it in, because Remy Ma dropped the bomb right before Claressa Shields' pause ceremony. And that timing alone, honey, that tells you everything you need to know about how Remy Ma feels about her ex-husband's new girlfriend, and about how very little Remy Ma cares about the lawyers Papoose allegedly sent her way. We are talking about a woman who has been sitting on her hands, biting her tongue, smiling through the mess, taking the subliminal shots in stride, swallowing every comment, every tag, every laugh aimed at her for months. And now the dam is broken, and the flood she unleashed is going to drown a whole lot of people before this is all said and done. Now let me set the stage for the new folks in the building before I get too deep into the tea, because this Remy Ma versus Claressa Shields versus Papoose storyline is one of those layered, multi-actor dramas that rewards the people who follow it carefully. And there are several characters in this play that y'all need to have in mind before I can really land the bigger picture. Claressa Shields, the undisputed queen of women's boxing, the self-proclaimed GWOT, the two-time Olympic gold medalist, the multi-time undisputed world champion, has been gallivanting around with Papoose, who is the husband Remy Ma is publicly separated from. And let me say it plain, that has been a goldmine for gossip pages for months on end. The trio has been a generator of headlines, a generator of memes, a generator of comment section fistfights. And when Remy Ma finally cracked and dropped her first diss record calling out both Papoose and Claressa Shields by name, the internet nearly caught fire from the engagement alone. That should have been the end of it, right? Wrong. Because word started flying around that the ex-husband had his lawyer fire off a cease and desist letter aimed straight at Remy Ma, trying to legally muzzle the rapper wife from ever speaking Papoose's name or Claressa Shields' name on a beat ever again. And that is where this entire new chapter opens up, because that alleged cease and desist did not buy one single second of silence. Remy Ma answered it not with a statement, not with a TikTok, not with a tweet, but with another diss record, and Remy Ma dropped it hours before the pause ceremony, which tells you she is not remotely rattled by legal paperwork. She is fueled by it. All right now, allegedly, and I say allegedly because we are talking about legal paperwork that has not been independently verified by any mainstream outlet. Papoose came out publicly and tried to walk it back, saying the cease and desist was fake, that it was a smear campaign, that somebody hacked his social media account to post it in the first place. Child, please. The man who allegedly controls his own Instagram suddenly cannot control what goes on it on the exact day that a cease and desist would do him the most good? Now, Papoose has allegedly been caught in lies before, so the people in the comments were not buying it for a single second. They were saying that the ex-husband is allegedly trying to get half of Remy Ma's earnings from any music she makes off of this whole situation. And that would fit an alleged pattern from a man who allegedly coordinates his legal strategy to coincide with the public attention his name is receiving. We are not judging anybody. We are just reading between the lines of what the alleged paperwork and alleged public reactions suggest. But here is what got everybody's blood boiling, and what made the new diss record feel like a public execution rather than a clapback. The content of the record itself. Remy Ma dropped the new song, supposedly titled Wanna Go, and she did not name Claressa Shields directly in the lyrics. She called her Clarence throughout. That is not a slip of the tongue. That is a calculated legal move, because by deliberately misspelling the name, Remy Ma avoided direct legal exposure while making sure every single person who heard the record understood exactly who she was talking about. That is veteran-level diss work, child. That is courtroom-tested diss work. That is a woman who has been studying law while living with a man who uses the law like a weapon. And the content of the diss track, oh my goodness, where do I even begin? Remy Ma went straight for the jugular, and the jugular she chose was the obsession narrative, and she laid it out bar by bar in a way that left no room for plausible deniability. Remy Ma cataloged the pattern of Claressa Shields allegedly copying everything about her. The hair, child. Starting with the hair. Remy Ma allegedly switched her hair to a reddish color with streaks, and within days, Claressa Shields allegedly showed up on Instagram with a near-identical look that Remy Ma had literally just debuted. Remy Ma allegedly bought a new pair of boots. Claressa Shields allegedly bought the identical pair. Remy Ma allegedly bought heels. Claressa Shields allegedly bought those same heels. Remy Ma allegedly copped a fresh set of gym shoes. Claressa Shields allegedly had them within the same shipping week. The jewelry, the outfits, The color story, the wig selections. Remy Ma alleges she has had to start ordering custom-made pieces just so Claressa Shields cannot go and fish the same thing out of the same website the next day. The alleged receipt list goes on. Remy Ma allegedly got a fresh set of acrylics with what insiders are calling a custom alphabet design, and Claressa Shields allegedly showed up 3 weeks later with the same alphabet design on the same finger length. Remy Ma allegedly copped a designer handbag from a European house, and Claressa Shields allegedly posted the same bag, allegedly from the same season, right down to the metal feet detail on the bottom. Remy Ma allegedly changed her fragrance, moving away from her previous signature, and Claressa Shields allegedly posted the new replacement the very next week. Child, every single coincidence lines up, and the culture noticed every last one of them. Now let me pause right here and ask y'all a serious question, because the psychology of what Remy Ma is declaring is wild, and we need to sit with it. What kind of grown woman allegedly watches her boyfriend's ex-wife so closely that she recreates her aesthetic beat for beat? It either means Claressa Shields is genuinely obsessed with Remy Ma in a way that goes beyond normal rivalry, or it means she has been so thoroughly consumed by Papoose's world that she lost every single piece of her own identity, or it means both, and that is the most disturbing option of them all. Remy Ma did not hesitate to put that question on the record, and she did it with the kind of certainty that says she has receipts stacked up in her phone of every single look, every single piece, every single DM slide, asking where she got it from. Yes, child DMs. According to the diss track, and according to Remy Ma herself in her own words on wax, Claressa Shields was allegedly in Remy Ma's direct messages asking where she got certain items so Claressa Shields could go piggyback and buy them. That is not a rumor. That is the words reportedly coming out of Remy Ma's mouth on the record. And the level of unmitigated gall it takes to slide into your boyfriend's ex-wife's inbox, hat in hand, asking for shopping links, while allegedly dating the man who used to share that same bed with her. That is its own psychological case study, and Remy Ma made sure to declare it on wax. And the DMs allegedly did not stop at shopping. Allegedly, Claressa Shields allegedly asked Remy Ma about her weight loss regimen, her training schedule, her content posting cadence, her event attendance. Basically any aspect of the life Remy Ma lives, Claressa Shields allegedly wanted to mirror it, which points to the obsession going deeper than style alone. Allegedly, the DM evidence reportedly includes timestamps and messages sent the day before the alleged reveals, alleged posts from both ends lining up in a way that is hard to explain away as coincidence. Now let me pivot to the second explosive layer of this whole saga, the ex-husband himself, because y'all cannot tell this story without putting Papoose right in the middle of the mess as the alleged enabler. Remy Ma has been alleging, and the internet has been echoing the allegations, that Papoose is the one who is quietly letting all of this happen. Papoose is allegedly allowing Claressa Shields to copy his wife. Papoose is allegedly allowing Claressa Shields to engage in behavior that is at minimum replicative jealousy toward Remy Ma, and at maximum a form of harassment. Papoose has not publicly told Claressa Shields to stop. Papoose has not publicly told her to go find her own stylist, her own wardrobe, her own identity. Papoose has been silent in the face of the mounting cultural pressure, and silence in this case is consent in the eyes of the chat rooms. Some people in the culture have been very blunt about it, and I am just reflecting what is being said. They are alleging that Papoose wants to see how far he can push Remy Ma before she breaks, and Remy Ma finally broke, and the lyrics prove it. And this is where the cease and desist drama gets even messier, because if Papoose really did send that paperwork, then on one hand he is trying to shut Remy Ma up, but on the other hand, he is still feeding Claressa Shields the fuel that is causing the entire situation. Y'all cannot sue a woman for talking, and then not stop your current girlfriend from copying that same woman's wardrobe. That is not how this is supposed to work, child. That is what people in the legal community would call a contradictory position, and the comment section has been clowning Papoose relentlessly for it. Now let's talk about Claressa Shields' delusions, because Lord have mercy, this is where the tea gets piping hot. Claressa Shields is a two-time Olympic gold medalist. She is a multi-time world champion in multiple weight classes. She is one of the greatest combat athletes of her generation. By every objective metric, Claressa Shields is a star in her own right. And yet Claressa Shields has been out here telling anybody who will listen that if she was not fighting, she would be playing in the WNBA, and her second career would be as a singer. Now, child, I have to play this for y'all because the audacity needs to be witnessed in real time. Claressa Shields was on the record saying, and I am paraphrasing the quote, "If I wasn't fighting, I would be playing in the WNBA for one, but then secondly, my second job would be being a singer." She went on to actually sing a snippet, and honey, the snippet did not match the resume she is trying to sell. Now, I am not here to crush Claressa Shields' dream. I am not here to tell a grown woman what she can or cannot do with her off hours. But what I am here to say is that Claressa Shields has been publicly clowned for this clip in a way that no athlete wants to be clowned. And the reason the clowning works is because she is so confident in her abilities outside the ring that she is not even rehearsing these claims. She just says them out loud and expects the world to nod along and say, yes, ma'am. You would dominate the WNBA and have a Billboard #1. And the world is saying, no, ma'am. That is not how this works. That is not what the vocal cords on that recording sound like. And the internet has been ruthless about it. With even people who are rooting for Claressa Shields on fight night being like, child, stay in your lane for the extracurriculars. And let me tell you all about the time Claressa Shields allegedly took to the tennis court and posted tennis content for months, despite having no professional tennis training at all, and the content drew mass mockery from pro tennis fans at every level. It is the same pattern, child, the same pattern of Claressa Shields believing she can step into any lane and dominate it without putting in the reps, and the culture clocks it every single time. Now let me add another layer of drama to this whole thing. Glorilla. Yes, the Memphis rapper. Glorilla decided to weigh in on the situation and give Claressa Shields some sisterly advice in the wake of the Remy Ma diss track. And honey, that Glorilla advice was not received well at all. Glorilla went on her platform and gave Claressa Shields some home truths about how she was being perceived by the culture, how her behavior was a distraction from her actual legacy, and how she needed to focus instead of copying Remy Ma's wardrobe. And instead of hearing the Glorilla advice as the honest-to-goodness counsel Glorilla was trying to deliver, Claressa Shields took it as an attack. Child, the gloves came off, and Glorilla threw the line of the entire beef when Glorilla said that the only reason Claressa Shields is supposedly winning all her matches is because Claressa Shields is a man fighting in the women's division. Now, whether Glorilla actually used those exact words or whether the internet paraphrased the Glorilla remarks to make them spicier, the point remains. Glorilla escalated, and the triangle went nuclear within hours of the diss record release. Now I am not saying Glorilla said exactly that in exactly those words. I am saying, per the rumors floating around the internet and per the Glorilla headlines, Glorilla turned it up several notches and made it personal in a way that crossed from sisterly advice into provocation. Either way, what we have now is a three-way feud in the wake of the diss track. Remy Ma is rapping on wax, Claressa Shields is deflecting on Instagram, and Glorilla is dragging the boxer by the hair through the streets of public opinion. And in the middle of all of it, the ex-husband is trying to monetize everything via the cease and desist and the contract obligations reportedly embedded in the relationship. Ah yes, the contract. The biggest open secret of this entire saga. Multiple commentators in the culture have been alleging that Papoose talked Claressa Shields into signing a 360 deal, which is a deal where the label or the manager takes a percentage of every single dollar she earns, whether it is from her boxing purses, her endorsements, her merchandise, her music, or anything creative or business-related. And if Claressa Shields and Papoose break up tomorrow, child, that contract does not go away. Papoose would still be entitled to that 20% slice of her earnings. Papoose would still have approval rights over certain decisions. Papoose would still be able to advise her, and if she does not take his advice, he could leverage the contract structure. Now, if any of that is true, then Claressa Shields is shackled to a man she has been publicly defending for free, and that is a brutal realization waiting for her at the end of this whole romance arc. And let me tell y'all why that Papoose contract matters right now, because timing is everything in this story. Claressa Shields walked into her pause ceremony unaware of the depth of what she signed. She was focused on the glitters and the glam of having a celebrity boyfriend who knew the streets and knew the business. She was counting on Papoose to expand her empire. And now the man is trying to legally silence the wife that he betrayed, so she cannot profit off naming him in the diss track, while Papoose still controls her in the 360 deal if she breaks up. That is a closed loop, and Claressa Shields has no exit ramp. Now, here is another layer that I have to put on the table. The parallel between Claressa Shields' situation and the situation of Finesse 2 Times and his own entangled dealings. Finesse 2 Times went through a similar arc where the personal and the business became so intertwined that there was no clean line between the two. The difference is that Finesse 2 Times went through pain publicly that forced him to make changes in his life. Claressa Shields is still in the honeymoon phase, buying contracts with her signature and buying wardrobes from her boyfriend's ex-wife's website, not seeing any of the red flags the rest of the culture is waving in big bold letters at her, so she can escape Papoose. And Remy Ma sees all of this. Remy Ma lives with the receipts in her phone. She knows every DM, every look, every hand-me-down outfit that ended up on Claressa Shields' body. So when Remy Ma dropped this latest diss record hours before the pause ceremony, Remy Ma was sending a message to both Claressa Shields and Papoose simultaneously. A message that cannot be silenced by a cease and desist. A message that serves as a public audition for every entertainment lawyer in the country to see exactly why Papoose's legal posture is ridiculous. Now let me talk about the Corvette, because some tea made its way into my inbox about this vehicle, and I have to share it because it fits into the larger narrative. Claressa Shields allegedly had a Corvette that she let people believe she owned, and word on the street is that the Corvette is gone now, repossessed, taken back by the bank, because she could not keep up with the payments. Some people adjacent to her circle are alleging that she told fans the Corvette was stolen as a way to save face, and the cover story did not land. If a Corvette is taken back because of non-payment, that is not theft, that is repossession, and the difference matters. And if Claressa Shields cannot afford a Corvette lease, then the question becomes how she can afford the lifestyle she is advertising online while owing Papoose 20% under the 360 deal. And the scooter she allegedly leased also allegedly went back early, and the audience chatter points to the same pattern. Once a quarter, Claressa Shields allegedly upgrades her vehicle, and every time the upgrade ends in early return because the money allegedly dries up. It is a quiet tell, child, that the image is bigger than the balance sheet, and the culture can read a balance sheet in 3 seconds flat. Now I want to walk through what happened in the build-up to this record, because the timeline matters and helps us understand why Remy Ma dropped this hit when she did. Remy Ma was quiet for months. She watched Claressa Shields parade around with Papoose. She watched Claressa Shields show up at fight pressers with Papoose on her arm. She watched Claressa Shields copy Remy Ma's hair and outfits and jewelry in real time. She did not respond. She took the high road. But when the cease and desist reportedly landed, Remy Ma felt vindicated in her silence being broken, because that paperwork proved Papoose is afraid of what she has to say. And that fear is what motivated this track. Remy Ma does not have to name Papoose, because Papoose knows he is the subject, and Claressa Shields knows she is the subject under the name Clarence, and the internet knows what Remy Ma means, and that is the point of the diss. Now let me address the Glorilla confrontation in more detail, because this scene matters for Claressa Shields' public image. Glorilla put Claressa Shields on blast for going on social media and arguing with trolls, and Glorilla said that if you are the current champion, you should be basking in millions, and you are too dumb to be sitting on social media trading words with people who do not matter. Claressa Shields took that and went off on Glorilla, and the fight blew up the internet. And in the middle of the fight, Glorilla released a track that said Claressa Shields wins because she is a man. Now, to be clear, I am working with speculation, rumor, and third-party reports. The pause ceremony was overshadowed by the cease and desist, the control of the contractual obligations, and public reception of the diss track itself. The public reaction was massively favorable toward Remy Ma. The lacerations were aimed at Papoose, and the culture flooded the internet with support for Remy Ma. Now let me talk about the Glorilla chemistry, because Glorilla played a critical role in this saga that the chat rooms are sleeping on. Glorilla allegedly knew Remy Ma before the drama broke. Glorilla has worked with adjacent artists, and Glorilla made the calculation that backing Remy Ma would score her cultural credibility. The Glorilla decision to drop the line about Claressa Shields winning because she is a man is the kind of line that forces the culture to question the narrative at the exact moment Claressa Shields needs unity the most before the pause ceremony. Now let me break down the State Farm ticket giveaway rumor, because this detail slips into the commentary and tells y'all everything about the financial reality. State Farm, the insurance giant and the sponsor of the pause ceremony, started running a social media giveaway where they are giving away tickets to the ceremony that nobody bought. The State Farm giveaway was designed to fill the empty seats, not to celebrate the event. It was leaked by Remy Ma supporters and Glorilla supporters who wanted the internet to see that Claressa Shields cannot fill her venue, contradicting the image she is trying to project. Now, let me actually talk about the lyrical mechanics of this record, because y'all know I always break down the pen game, and the pen game on this one is genuinely nasty. The way Remy Ma structured the bars around the obsession theme was not accidental. She built the entire record like a prosecutor building a timeline, stacking one receipt on top of the next until the pattern became undeniable. The delivery was measured, cold, almost clinical in the first half, and then it ramped into the kind of snarling, pointed aggression that made her a legend in the first place. That tonal architecture matters, because it is the difference between a woman venting and a woman building a case, and y'all saw which one this was the second the beat dropped. And the production choice was strategic too. She did not go for the brightest, most radio-friendly beat on the block. She went for something darker, something that sat under her words and let every single syllable land clean. When you are delivering a diss track that is supposed to be dissected line by line, the last thing you want is a busy instrumental drowning out the bars. So the stripped back, menacing pocket she chose was a message in itself. This is not a party record. This is a deposition, and every word is going on the official transcript of the culture. Now let me talk about the strategy of the name, because the Clarence move deserves its own deep dive. In the era of everybody tagging everybody and getting flagged and struck and taken down within hours, Remy Ma made a choice that lets the song stay up while still landing every punch. She gets to say the most disrespectful things imaginable about a sitting champion, and a sitting champion who is, by all accounts, notoriously sensitive about how she is perceived, and she does it without ever once giving that champion's legal team a clean, actionable target. That is the difference between somebody who raps angry and somebody who raps smart, and Remy Ma has been rapping smart for 2 decades. Now let me also give y'all the context on why this particular diss stings so much. And it comes down to the thing the champion boxer has built her entire public identity around: respect. Claressa Shields has spent her whole career demanding to be taken seriously, demanding the legacy conversations, demanding that people put her name next to the greatest of all time. And a diss track like this one attacks exactly the thing she cannot stand to lose, which is the perception that she is not being taken seriously. When Remy Ma calls her a copycat, she is not attacking her fists, she is attacking her identity. And that is a wound that does not heal with a knockout. Now, the family layer, because we have to talk about the child. The culture has been very loud about the fact that Remy Ma and Papoose share a child, and the framing from Remy Ma's side is that every single dollar the ex-husband is allegedly trying to extract from her through this legal paperwork is a dollar that allegedly does not flow to the household and to their child. That is the part of this that turns a messy ex-drama into something genuinely serious. Because now it is not just 2 adults trading shots on Instagram. It is allegedly a man allegedly using the legal system to allegedly choke the financial pipeline of a woman who is allegedly the primary provider for his own child. And the culture has zero patience for that narrative. Let me also talk about the reaction from the boxing world specifically, because the boxing heads are watching this very closely, and they are split in a way that is actually kind of interesting. The hardcore fight fans who do not care about any of the gossip are annoyed that their champion, the best female fighter on the planet, is spending her press cycle talking about wig choices and rent-a-cars instead of talking about the opponent in front of her. And the casual fans, the ones who only show up for the drama, are fully locked into the soap opera, and they are not going anywhere. The danger for Claressa Shields is that the second group is growing and the first group is shrinking. And when the people who take you seriously stop taking you seriously, the only audience you have left is the one that clicks on your downfall. And that is the quiet tragedy underneath all of this. Because the champion boxer is not a joke. She is not a manufactured star. She is one of the most decorated athletes the sport has ever produced, full stop. And the reason this whole saga is so painful to watch is that none of this had to happen. She could have focused on the fight. She could have kept her private life private. She could have let the resume speak for itself, and it would have spoken loudly enough to drown out everything else. Instead, allegedly, she got wrapped up in a relationship that allegedly brought her into direct conflict with one of the sharpest pins in hip-hop. And now the sharpest pin in hip-hop is writing her name into the permanent record of the culture, misspelled and unforgettable. Now let me answer the question that the internet most needs answered. Does the ex-husband still love Remy Ma? My answer is yes. Papoose is still emotionally entangled with Remy Ma. Papoose cannot disconnect from Remy Ma because she is the mother of his child, the artist who made his brand name relevant to a mainstream audience, and the voice who keeps Papoose's name in the chat rooms. Papoose cannot publicly remove Remy Ma from his life because of the legal entanglement, the child entanglement, and the branded entanglement. So Papoose keeps Claressa Shields around as the visible girlfriend, fronting the public image, while keeping Remy Ma as the private emotional anchor. That is my read, and y'all can tell me in the comments if y'all disagree. Now let me close this out with the question of what happens next, because the next move is what everybody is watching for. Remy Ma has made her move with the diss track. Papoose has made his move with the cease and desist. Claressa Shields has made her move with the pause ceremony and the deflection. Glorilla has made her move with the public dragging. And the next move in this saga is going to be one of 3 things. Claressa Shields is going to wake up to the contracts and fight for an exit, or she is going to double down on Papoose and the wardrobe copying and the singing fantasies, or she is going to break her silence in a way that nobody is prepared for. And honestly, child, all 3 options would make for an even better sequel than this one. So make sure y'all are subscribed so you do not miss a single beat of it. Here is the bottom line. Remy Ma dropped a record hours before Claressa Shields walked onto the scale, and that record landed harder than anything Claressa Shields has ever taken in her career. Papoose cease and desist posturing backfired spectacularly because it answered a private question in public. What is Papoose so worried that Remy Ma will say that he believes the only solution is a court order? Glorilla then accelerated through the open door and pressure-tested Claressa Shields' world champion identity right before the pause ceremony. The State Farm giveaway rumor floats around as a quiet tell that the ticket revenue did not match the projected glam, and the Corvette rumor reinforces the same financial pressure point. And the 360 deal plastered all over the chat rooms is the structural reason Claressa Shields cannot simply walk away, even if her eyes eventually open to who Papoose actually is. Now, before I send y'all off, let me zoom out and give y'all the bigger picture, because this is bigger than one song, and it is bigger than one fight week, and it is bigger than one awkward press cycle. What we are watching play out in real time is the collision of two completely different worlds that were never supposed to overlap, and the overlap is the reason the whole thing is so combustible. On one side, you have the boxing world, the hardest, most meritocratic sport on the planet, where your record is earned in the ring and nobody hands you anything. On the other side, you have the entertainment machine, the gossip industrial complex, where the narrative is the whole game and perception is worth more than any title belt. Claressa Shields is a product of the first world, and she has spent her entire career trying to get the second world to respect her. And now, allegedly, she has walked directly into the second world's favorite game, a messy, public, love triangle adjacent beef with a rap legend, and she is losing that game badly while the first world watches and cringes. The reason she is losing is not a physical one, and that is the part that is killing her. Put her in a ring against any woman on the planet, and she is likely going to win. That is fact. That is not even a debate. But this fight is not in a ring, and her opponent is not throwing hands, and the rules are completely different. In this fight, the currency is not power and speed, it is bars and receipts and timing, and her opponent has been trading in that currency for longer than she has been alive, and the opponent knows exactly where the soft spots are. Every single thing that makes the champion boxer great inside the ropes is useless out here, and every single thing that makes the rapper wife dangerous is perfectly suited to this arena. That is the mismatch, and once y'all see it that way, the whole saga makes a terrible kind of sense. Let me also talk about the silence, because the silence is the loudest part of this entire story right now. The champion boxer has not answered the record. She has not stepped up and set her piece on wax, and that silence is doing more damage than any clapback ever could, because the culture reads silence in a beef like this as an admission. When you are the one who allegedly slid into the DMs, and you are the one who allegedly copied the wardrobe, and you are the one who allegedly signed the contract, and the other side drops a song laying all of it out bar by bar, and your only response is to keep posting fight clips and motivational quotes, the culture is going to fill in that silence for you, and the culture's version of the story is never flattering. Every hour that passes without a response is another hour the narrative hardens against her, and she cannot train her way out of that one. Now, the other question y'all have been asking is what this does to her focus, because she has a fight in front of her, a real one, and all of this noise is allegedly swirling around her while she is supposed to be locked in. The boxing purist will tell you that the great ones can shut it all out, that the real champions thrive in the chaos, and there is some truth to that. But there is also a limit, and the limit is when the chaos stops being external and starts living in your own head, when the person you are allegedly copying is now the #1 trending topic, and every interviewer is going to ask you about a diss track instead of a game plan. That is the kind of distraction that shows up in the ring in subtle ways, a half step slower here, a lazy jab there, and at the highest level, half a step is the entire ballgame. The champion boxer is too talented to lose to an inferior fighter, but she is not too talented to lose to herself, and allegedly, she has been losing to herself for months. And one more thing before I go, because I want to be fair about the human being at the center of all this. It is easy to sit in the comments section and clown, and trust me, I get it, the material writes itself, but underneath all the memes and the jokes there is a real woman, a real mother, a real athlete, watching her own name become the punchline of the entire internet. And whether she brought it on herself or not, that is a heavy thing to carry into the biggest moment of your professional year. Nobody is saying she does not deserve scrutiny, and nobody is saying the receipts are not real, but I am saying that the fall, when it comes, is going to be harder than any of the jokes are funny, and I genuinely hope that when she finally takes a real look at the contract, and at the relationship, and at the pattern, she has people around her telling her the truth instead of telling her what she wants to hear. Because the fight she actually needs to win is not on any card, and it is not against any boxer. It is the fight to walk away from a situation that allegedly was never going to end well for her. And that is the one fight where losing means staying. And staying means watching the rest of her legacy get consumed by a soap opera she did not have to be in. So smash the like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. Share this video with 2 people who follow this saga as closely as y'all do. And drop a comment below telling me what y'all think the next move will be. And tell me whether y'all think Papoose is truly done with Remy Ma, or whether he is still in love and trying to recover ground. Will Claressa's shields awaken to the contract before the next fight presser? Will Glorilla drop another bar before then and force the conversation up again? Where does Remy Ma take the war next, and which target does she choose? The ex-husband or the boxer who mirrored her whole life? Drop the theories in the comments section below, and we will catch y'all on the next installment of this wild story. Stay safe out there. Y'all, love y'all, and we gon' talk real soon.